everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a long time since I filmed a YouTube video, so I just laid my son down for a nap and I am just sitting here really quick to give you guys a pregnancy update. So today's video is basically going to be a third trimester update since I am 34 weeks, and I am also going to share my plans for labor and delivery, which if you have been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you should know that with my first son, I hemorrhaged right after delivering him and I almost died while giving birth. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below. But because of that situation with my last labor and delivery, I was pretty much told that there's going to be a lot of restrictions on me for my next labor and delivery. So after I go over my update, I'm going to share with you guys everything about labor and delivery. So let's get started with the update. Start by showing you guys my bump, if I can get it in this video. So that's my belly. Definitely looking big, I think. If you've been following along with this pregnancy, then you would know at the very beginning of this pregnancy, I actually started to lose weight. I think I lost about 10 pounds or so, if I'm remembering correctly, from when I was trying to get pregnant to when I went in for my first actual OB appointment. I think I lost like 10 pounds. So that was due to, morning sickness and stuff like that. And it took me a little while to start gaining more weight. And then my last two appointments, I had lost some weight again. It wasn't as much. It's like 3 or 4 pounds I think that I lost. And my doctor was pretty much like, you're still at a healthy weight. And my doctor isn't too concerned because she says I'm still at a healthy weight, but she obviously does not want me to lose any more weight. She wants to make sure that I'm still gaining weight, which with my first, I think I started about, usually when I'm not pregnant, I sit about 130, 135, just naturally, it's what I'm at. So with my son, I think I was probably around then with my first son, I think I was probably around that 130, 135. And then when I gave birth to him, I think I was just under 160. So I was like 158 or something like that, I think. Don't remember exactly. And right now I am 34 weeks and my last doctor's appointment, I weighed 147. And so that gives me probably 10 more pounds to gain if I were to be at similar weight with my son when I give birth, which I know towards the last few weeks of pregnancy, they say you gain a pound a week. Wow, my brain is so turned off from this pregnancy. So the whole point of that whole spiel is that we're focusing on not losing any more weight. I don't necessarily have to gain weight, but they just don't want to lose any more weight. And then they have been measuring my, I can't think of what it's called. This is a pregnancy brain, you guys. If this is how you are when you're pregnant, bear with me, okay? Because my brain is just yeah. But they have been measuring my uterus. I can't think of what the actual measurement is called though. And my belly, my actual uterus is growing at the right rate that it needs to grow at for how far along I am. So they're not worried that the baby isn't growing. I'm just not putting on weight like they would assume that I would be normally putting on. But unless my measurement starts to not match up for how far along I am, then they would be concerned. He's also head down, so he's in the right position to, you know, be birthed. So he's in the right position, which is great. He's head down. He's pretty much always lays his back on this one side, which is good. You want, if you're going to go into labor, your baby's back to be out towards your belly and not towards your back. So as long as they're head down and their back is over here somewhere, that is optimal, and he is there. And I've been trying to do all of my stuff to prepare for labor, since we are getting close, me being 34 weeks now. But like, my hospital does not do in-person tours of labor and delivery because of the vid. They aren't allowing them. And I called the doctor, or I called the hospital to do my pre-registration stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, January we're gonna start allowing people to come in and do in-person tours, because my hospital offers a lot of like extras that you can pay for outside of your insurance that I wanted to like learn about and have more information about, but they still aren't doing them. So that's not gonna work for me. I did get to see all the stuff online, like they usually provide now. The hospitals do all these like online tours and stuff, so that was nice. And then I've been working on buying all the stuff for my hospital bag. The last few weeks we have pretty much just been focusing on buying all of the little extra things that I didn't keep with my son. Some things we use with my son and he hated it, so we got rid of them while he was still a baby because we didn't want to store them in our house. And other things I just didn't have with my son, and I'm like, this time around I want to try that, I want to have that. I think that's everything I need to update you guys on the third trimester, what's been going on with us. Yeah, I think so, but I have pregnancy brain, so I might be forgetting something. Now let's talk about labor and delivery. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you've watched my labor and delivery story, I was pretty much given like a step-by-step, this is how your next labor is going to have to be because of what happened in your prior labor, which that has been a very hard thing for me to take and deal with, I guess, because it's not things that I necessarily wanted. Obviously it's things that I will do, because when it comes down to it, what I care the most about is having a healthy baby and me being healthy and being able to come home to not only this baby but my older son. That's what's really important when it comes down to it, and I think that that should be everybody's like bottom line when it comes to your labor and delivery. When you're making your labor and delivery plan and figuring out what's important to you and what isn't important to you and sharing all your wishes with your hospital, just remember that the most important thing is that you're healthy and that your baby's healthy. I think that that's the one thing that I really took away from my labor and delivery experience with my son. And it was also something that I brought to my OB that I'm seeing right now for this pregnancy. At my last doctor's appointment, I spoke with my OB about what she would put on me as requirements and what I want to get out of this labor and delivery. And we had a really, really good conversation, and I'm very grateful that I found an OB who not only listens to what I have to say, but gives me her opinion in a way that is not telling me I have to do X or I have to do Y. It's, this is what is available to you. If you do these things, then you could have these consequences or these benefits. If you do these things, you can have these consequences or these benefits, right? And after finding out that my placenta previa had improved and I no longer need to have a cesarean, we started discussing my plan for a natural delivery. And she has worked with me and we've talked with the hospital, and they are both okay if I give birth naturally and unassisted. So basically I want to try and labor on my own. I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm not giving birth at home or at a birthing center, just because I have a higher chance of having a complication in my delivery because of my prior complication. So I am going to go to a hospital, and they will allow me to labor by myself naturally, however way I wish to labor, and I do not need to have an epidural, and I do not need to have IVs in me if I do not wish to have them. So I'm not gonna go into the hospital and say, or I'm not gonna go, or I'm not telling myself before I go to the hospital, no epidural, no IVs, no pain medicine, yada, yada, yada. I'm not telling myself that. I am just planning to go to the hospital and do everything as naturally as my body can handle. And if I get to a point and I feel like I do need an epidural or I need some other form of pain medication, that is something that I can ask for, but I do not want them offering any type of pain medication to me. Now, with that being said, the hospital I'm giving birth at does allow or does perform walking epidurals, and they do allow you to give birth in positions other than laying on your back in the bed. So if you wish to give birth on all fours, then that's something that they would provide for you, as long as it's safe for you and baby, which is how everything should be, right? So as long as it's safe for you and baby and you're able to vocalize what's important to you, then I would hope that your hospital can provide that for you. Now, all of that being said, if something were to happen, like with my son, if I do not have an epidural, then that means they would have to incubate me, essentially. They would have to knock me out to, do with whatever might happen. But that's also the same thing if you go in to have a natural delivery and you don't have an epidural and your baby gets stuck or something happens and you have to get rushed to a cesarean and they don't have the time to give you an epidural. It's a very similar situation. The same thing would happen. And as much as we wish that those things don't happen, a lot of that things are just not in our control. So I just want you to remember that if you're listening to this and thinking about what's important for your labor and delivery, I hope you take away from this that sometimes you have a plan and it doesn't work out, and what's most important is that you're healthy and that your baby is healthy. One last thing I want to share with you guys too, if you are thinking about writing out your labor and delivery plan and what you want, check out your hospital and see if they have a list of all the things that they offer or do not offer. And they might even have a printable sheet that you can write your birth plan on, and then it will list off things that you can have provided to you that the hospital offers. And talking with my hospital, if you use that one from the hospital and you say, hey, I want a birthing ball, or I want a peanut ball, or I want to be able to get in the shower, things like that, if that's something that you know that you want and you put it on your birth plan, my hospital says if you give that birth plan to them in triage, then whoever takes you up to your room will make sure that those things are in your room when you get up there, or like in the process of you first getting into your actual labor and delivery room. So they'll bring those things into the room for you. They can turn on the shower for you, stuff like that. Not every hospital is like that, and I don't even know if for sure every nurse is going to be that great at providing those things to you. So hopefully you can have a support person in your room with you that can say, hey, she wants this, or hey, she needs this, so that you have those things there for you. Something else I did not share in my update is I've started having actual Braxton Hicks contractions. I say actual Braxton Hicks contractions because I've had a lot of like I've had a lot of achy cramping pains, but now I started to have the actual like contractions. They don't hurt or anything, and they're just all over the place, but I can tell my body is getting ready. And at my 36-week appointment, my doctor does vaginal exams and checks for dilation, which I never had that with my first pregnancy. I don't think I got checked for dilation until I was like 38 weeks or 37. I don't remember it being 36. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 36. So in like 2 weeks, I'm gonna find out if anything's happening down there. I don't know if it will, but I keep hearing the second baby comes faster. So we'll see. Also, my next video should hopefully be a what to bring to the hospital with you as a second-time mom, because I am going really minimalistic this time. Bringing very little things to the hospital with me, but I am waiting for something to be delivered. Hopefully it gets delivered in the next few days, and then I'll film that video for you guys and upload it. So if you want to see that video, then I definitely subscribe to this channel and keep an eye out for my hospital bag for mommy, for baby, for daddy, everything. It should be coming out within a week or so, hopefully, of this video going live. All right, you guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye. And I'll try to be better about posting more often. All right, you guys, see you later.